right, Wack 100. I would give you an intro, but I don't think you need one. But I'll give you a little bit.
Man, let's do it. Whatever you doing, I'm doing.
Okay.
Manager, call, I always show up.
I appreciate that. Manager of the game, manager of Blueface, working with Cash Money West. Amongst other things, we'll get into some of the stuff that you got going on. But I appreciate you coming on. I really do appreciate you taking the time. Can you talk about what's going on right now with the Benzino thing? I saw on your Instagram you had a post of a video or something that's going on. Can you talk about
Well, Benzino. Well, it's this guy on Clubhouse named Ion. He has a Clubhouse room called Ion Fix My Life. Okay. He's an openly queer guy from New York. Mm-hmm. Good dude. So you remember when the clip came out of Benzino leaving the Red Robin or some type of motel with another man, right? So I took that clip. He had painted the narrative that Benzino was gay, right? I got a big platform on Clubhouse, the 100 show, right? So he comes to me, man, this dude's lying on me, this, that. I'm like, he's lying? He's like, yeah. I said, you sure, bro? Because Ion ain't the type of dude to lie. He's pretty thorough with his information. Yeah. So he's like, nah, this dude's lying on me, man. I need your platform, your voice to help me go over there address it. So I come in the room, he lets me up, I pull Benzino up. Benzino's doing his 1-2 with Ion. Ion, he runs a different kind of room than our room. He's letting Benzino talk, but he's kind of over talking Ion. So, he started to push this narrative is because you gay, you want everybody to be gay. So I started calling Ion out on it too. Ion, what's up with this? Like, this man's pretty adamant about what he's saying. So me and Ion get into it. Okay. So I tell him, look, man, you get mad if we gay bash, but then you act like we don't have a voice when you attacking the heterosexual community, right? You gotta be some respect on both ends. So I end up going to a point that they clipped my account. Clubhouse kind of divided, Ion's fans, my fans. People that ordinarily would mix and mingle, it's not like that. Okay. 5 days later, my little homegirl called me. She said, I heard the clip, it was wrong. I said, what you mean? She like, yeah, let me show you something. Right? I said, what you want to show me? So she like, dude, move like that. Who? She like Benzino. I said, does he move like that? I said, you bullshit. So she like, she goes in and she sends me the motherfucking video. Dude calls her. He in there with 2 chicks, what looked to be 2 chicks. And now you seen what I posted on Instagram.
Yeah, the screenshot.
His hand in his face, right? So dude's on there telling her, come by, let's have a good time and all this crazy shit, right? But dude's filing himself with a purple vibrator, right? So I get mad. And I'm like, hey, man, I call him. Actually, I text him. I say, hey, man, why in the fuck if, you swung that way, you just didn't tell me? I can care less. I ain't got no issues if you gay or transgender. That's your business, right? If a person I'm doing business with come out and tell me, hey, look, man, I'm just letting you know I'm gay. Yeah, that's cool. It had nothing to do with business with me. It's your personal shit. Now, you got me in here battling for you because I'm taking your word for it, right? So you saw me put the arm. That's your man, right? So they sent me the video. I said, yo. So I sent him, I said, look, I sent him a clip of his arm. He like, yo, that ain't me. Okay. That ain't you. I sent him a clip of his face. Is that you? Yeah. Fuck it. Here go the video. Is that you? So then he goes into this big old thing on why he did it, did that, and other. So I told him, yeah, he admit to it. He got no choice but to admit to it. Gotcha. Right? I said, look, stay off Clubhouse, bro. Leave my name out your mouth, we cool. So yesterday somebody sent me clips. I told him to stay off Clubhouse, not bullying him, but I know how Clubhouse works. You come on there, they gonna bait you, and they gonna make you say something because you feel like you have to. So they went on there and they like, yeah, man, what's this going on with Wack, this, that, and other, that, and other. All Wack's lying. Wack ain't got nothing. Once you do that, you force me to have to say something.
Yeah.
Right? So I thought about it. I apologized to Ion months back for it. But I did derail his room. So he had a big room going. It was a big topic. Because I came in and did what I did, it kind of destroyed his room. So the right thing to do, I gave Ion the content. Go ahead, run your room, I'm going to show up.
Right.
So, he had like a room with 1,300 people in there. 6,000 people have been in and out, shared the room. So, which is up. You can go to Ion Fix My Life on YouTube. Not only see that, but a bunch of other real content. No telling what you're going to run across on Ion's YouTube channel, as well as his Instagram. So what's up? But, I told Benzino, like, bro, stay off Clubhouse. Because I wasn't telling him that to tell him what to do. Right. I just knew if he went on there, they was going to bait him. And then it was going to lead to something else. He put me in a position where I had to defend my name. Right. And that's really what it wasn't done out of malice, but it's like, I got to defend my name now. You know damn well what you had going on. You know I got it. You know she got it. Yeah. So, to each his own. I just, he's at an age where I think he should be comfortable in his skin. Yeah. Whatever it is with you, man, be that. I'm comfortable in my skin. I do business with 6ix9ine. I don't want to be running around here. I got secrets and this shit and that shit and all this shit. And then, hey, just be comfortable in your skin. If you comfortable with what you're doing, it don't matter what anybody else is talking about. Yeah. Period. You eat pork, you don't eat pork. If you fucking into skydiving, whatever it is you into, yeah. You're gay, you're not gay, whatever it is you into, bro, be comfortable in your skin and live your life. Because it's real short. He's like 55 years old or some shit, 57. Yeah. He's lucky to see another 10, 15. Just be comfortable in your skin and smile about who you are. Mm-hmm. Some people are going to like you, some people are not. I fuck with who fuck with me. I like who likes me. Mm-hmm. It's that simple. Yeah. No more, no less. So yeah, that's what that was about.
Okay. Because we're more of like our fan base is more Tupac fans, we'll go ahead and get the elephant out of the room. Can you explain your comments about Tupac in the past and your opinion on him?
Talk to me, which ones?
Just about how, I think you had mentioned that he was a Crip before he became a Blood. And
No, not me. I never known Tupac to be a Crip. Okay. Before becoming a Blood, I never knew him to have no gang affiliation. Okay. I do know he was, the misconception that he's California-based is false. Okay. He's definitely from New York, East Coast, but I've never known Tupac to be a Crip. Okay. For being a Blood.
Gotcha. Okay. Were you able to see the comments that Allen Hughes made where he said that Tupac was somewhat delusional, that he was kind of playing a role in the last year of his life?
Well, all artists, majority of them play a role. Mm-hmm. It's a very small percentage of artists that are really living what they're talking about. If they was actually living what they was talking about, a lot of them be perjuring themselves. Mm-hmm. So I look at a lot of these artists as like street reporters. They may be talking about some real shit because they see it around them, certain people around them. You hear Pac drop real names. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But yeah, do I think he was a little overzealous with the role that he should have been playing? He was here to be an artist, not here to be a general, not here to call no shots. If you develop a clique or a crew, it should have been around entertainment. I think the controversial thing that I say is I believe that Tupac fucked up a dynasty because he didn't know his position. If I'm in Chicago with my team from Chicago and one of my Chicago guys tells me that dude over there tried to rob me, right? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna take note of that. I'm not moving until my Chicago team move. Mm-hmm. Stay backyard. I don't know if that dude is related to somebody. He part of the plug. And politics around this dude. Everybody ain't for jumping. Mm-hmm. Some people you can't touch like that and think it's just gonna end like that. And I wouldn't know because I'm not from Chicago. So in this situation, Tupac had a lot of natives around him that was from, you know, that understood what that politic was.
Right.
And but if I take off, the dudes that I'm with quite naturally is gonna come behind me. If they can't stop me before I get to somebody and I initiate an attack, they're gonna follow suit. And that's what happened in this situation. You gotta ask yourself, what came of that situation? Suge Knight out on 9 years joint suspension. The homies know that if he jaywalk, he going back. Couple of the homies on parole. You in a Vegas hotel, everybody on camera, right? And the gentleman that in question, they know you just can't put hands on it. Guy like that, you gotta all the way or no way. So what happened? He did what he did. He forced the homies to move with him. And, you know, 30 minutes, an hour later, he's dead. Suge shot. What come of that? Violation for Suge, 9 years, go to prison. What comes of that? Snoop Dogg sees the boat is sinking. He leaves, goes to No Limit. Shit starts to fall apart. You know, Reggie did the best he could. Without him, it was sunk even before Suge came home. And it's from that action. Yeah. That one action. Let's eliminate Tupac going over there attacking that man. That eliminates the shooting. That eliminates him losing his life that day. That eliminates Suge being caught on camera, involved in a situation that would send him to prison. Everybody's life might have been different.
Did you see where T-Pain had said that if Tupac were around in today's era of social media and all that, that he would have got quicker? Do you believe that to be accurate?
He would have got what?
He would have gotten killed quicker. As far as just today, where people have more information about where you are, what you're doing, who you're moving with.
Well, I don't know what he meant by that, because T-Pain has never been. He's not one of those dudes that ever had to worry about how he was moving. You know, he's been pretty good about being T-Pain, staying in T-Pain's lane and, you know, doing T-Pain business. And I commend him for that. But I just think, Pac would have adjusted. He had the right people around him. It's just that night, a lot of things happened that really shouldn't have happened. Yeah. You know, for one, nobody shouldn't have been able to get on the side of that vehicle. Just a lot of breaches and basic proper security. Yeah. You know, so you gotta relax. But, you know, I believe Tupac, like all of us, he would have adjusted. You know, we all have had to adjust with social media, you know what I mean? Understand if you got your locations on and, you know, certain things, he just would have adjusted to it. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I still think he would have been a factor.
Yeah. Do you think Trayvon has any sort of blame in the situation? I know we had Trayvon on a couple of years ago. He had words for you because you had words for him back then over something. I'm not sure what it is, if it was Compton stuff or whatever. But do you feel like he bears any responsibility for saying, hey, that's the guy that tried to take my chain?
Nah, first of all, me and Trayvon didn't have no words about Compton stuff because I'm not from Compton. Okay. I'm from Pacoima, but he's from Compton. Yeah. Well, that's what he claims. No, I don't think Trayvon was wrong for, you know, sharing them. Yo, there go dude that we got into it with at such and such. Yeah. I just think he was just, you know, having conversation. I don't believe Trayvon told Tupac to go get him, or let's go get him. He'd have had those conversations with other people that was there if he was on that. So no, I don't put no blame on Trayvon for that. I can't even remember what me and Trayvon.
There was something like a fight with Pooh Rider that he turned.
Oh yeah, he turned the squabble down with Pooh. Okay. In Hawaii.
Okay. Do you know that story? Can you tell us?
Yeah, he turned the squabble down. They got into it behind something. Pooh wanted to fight. Bunchy didn't want the fight to happen. Well, Bunchy didn't give a fuck if the fight happened, but he seemed like Trayvon gave him some resistance. He didn't want to fight. And, you know, Pooh Ryder was one of them dudes. He going to press a line. He going to fight a bear, win, lose, or draw. And he wanted to fight. And Trayvon he didn't want to get down with him. So my big homie Rambo was out there with him. He had to get involved because he started seeing Trayvon older homies get involved. Mm-hmm. Like, homie, we all homies, leave that between them. But ain't gonna be no somebody else lining up with my little homeboy. Mm-hmm. So, but it was all based upon Trayvon didn't want to fight Pooh. You know, Pooh did a lot of damage. I remember he choked out Daz. Mm-hmm. You know, Pooh was like he was like, a little scrappy. Yeah. A little scrappy dappy dude, the dog. Once he was off his leash, he was off his leash. But that's what Suge had him there for. Yeah. Nevertheless, that was his role.
Mm-hmm. What happened with Daz where he choked him out?
He was at some release, something at the Forum or the Coliseum or something. And I believe Reggie might have had to go bail Pooh out. Pooh might have went to jail for disorderly conduct or something. Reg got on him. Reg know more of the story than me because actually he the one told me the story. Okay. But yeah, you know, Pooh was just kind of like, he was one of them dudes, he was going to enforce whatever Suge wanted to enforce. Mm-hmm. You know, it might have been the wrong time for it. You know, I've seen him do things at the wrong time. Suge's first violation, that was Pooh. Mm-hmm. That wasn't Suge. When the parking lot attendant,
the valet
blamed Suge. Mm-hmm. Me and Suge pulled up. It was Club Sugar, I think, at the time. And we paid to do the $200 to keep the cars up front. Okay. And we wasn't going to be in long. We was down there to address somebody. Mm-hmm. Forgot what it was. But nevertheless, we were in and out. And I remember why we was in and out. When we went in to address what we was going to address, Key to Rock from Rolling 60s was across the street. Mm-hmm. And I know Rock pretty good. And at the time, Suge had been saying Key to Rock had Death Row shot up. Mm-hmm. When they shot the glass up.
Yeah. Like 5 in the morning or something like that. Yep.
But it wasn't Key to Rock. So Key to Rock, somebody told Key to Rock where it was going to be. Me and Key to Rock had a good rapport. Because when he was at Death Row, a lot of times me and Key to Rock would be together. Gotcha. Fights and rides kicked off. Me and Key to Rock end up shoulder to shoulder, you know, with each other's back. And I went across the street to talk to Rock. And Rock was like, nah, I need to have a conversation with him. And I say, Rock, this ain't gonna turn out good. You know, I'm looking at the corners. I see Rock set up. We set up. It ain't gonna turn out good, bro. Yeah. If me and you don't need to be like this. And you know, not out of fear or nothing, because Rock ain't scared of nothing. Out of pure respect, he like, Wack, tell dude, keep my name out of that. I didn't do that. But since he wanted to keep saying I did that, then you know. So he like, I'm gonna give it a pass. I'm gonna go on by my way, but I asked him to keep my name out of that. So when I told Suge Rock was across the street, I just had a conversation with him. He got a little, you know, on edge. Mm-hmm. Wanted to leave. So we get across the street and the cars ain't there. Mm-hmm. So me and Suge, we like, listen, man, we don't want to argue with you. Keep the money, just go get the cars. Yeah. Pull a little drunk. As soon as we turned our back out of nowhere, I don't know if dude was hesitating on going to get the cars or what. Out of nowhere, Pooh knocks him out. Bam! We're like, yo, what the fuck? What you doing? Mm-hmm. So they go get the cars. We leave. Next day we wake up, it's all that. Suge Knight, his parking lot attendant. Now this is where I started to understand the world. Suge's like 6'4", 6'5" or something. Mm-hmm. Pooh about 5'6". You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. One dude 300 pounds, the other dude 180 pounds. There's no way you. But the bigger fish was Suge. Yeah. Ultimately, Suge had to turn himself in. Wasn't no fixing it. Parole violated him. He didn't catch a case. Okay. But nevertheless, that 9 months was detrimental to the fall of Death Row as well. Because Suge was just in the middle of trying to put things back together. So, Yeah, man, Pooh did a lot of good. He did a lot of bad, but the bad shit he did, it wasn't intentional. It was just Pooh being Pooh.
Mm-hmm.
That's just who Pooh was.
Gotcha.
So, you know, that's what that was.
Okay. Can you talk about how you originally hooked up with Death Row and what time frame?
My initial involvement with Death Row was Reggie Wright era. We're talking 2000, 99, 2000 maybe. Yeah. Pooh was already over there working as security. They had them stationed in Tarzana. Mm-hmm. Pooh, the realist. And it was one of the producers, I forget his name. He's from Chicago. It'd come to me.
Kurt Cobain.
Kurt Cobain. Yeah. So they all stayed in that house. Realist at the time, he's from Dallas. Realist originally was Connecticut. He was on Above the Rim soundtrack. So Realist was an artist. Kurt Cobain was a producer. Pooh was a security in the house. That's how I met Reg. When I first met Reggie, I told Reggie, listen, I'm here for whatever it got to be, but I really want to conduct some business. Mm-hmm. So Reggie gave me his phone number. And after going out a few times, a few situations happening on that side of it, a few conversations with Reg on the other side of it, he eventually put me on a three-way call with Suge. And he told Suge, like, yo, man, we need this dude around. He brings both elements. He's a thinker. He bought his business. He got his own money. He ain't up here asking for a check. And, you know, but he with the bullshit if we gotta be. So that, he told Reg, well, shit, y'all keep it together. And, you know, when I get there, you know, we'll put it together. And that's how that came. Gotcha. So that came to be. So I had my own relationship with Suge, my own relationship with Reg. Pooh was actually an employee at Death Row. So, you know, I never wanted to put the chain on because once you put that chain on, you obligated. Yeah. And I'm more of a wolf type guy than the sheep. Gotcha. I want to come and go as I please, you know. And, you know, it was great for the guys that had to do that. That just wasn't for me. Mm-hmm. You know, he gave me the access. Me and Suge got very, very close. You know, children, going to each other's homes, driving back and forth to Vegas, you know, thinking through things and thinking back on it. I see a lot of the mistakes he made. You know, it was amazing on how he would tell me he couldn't put the music out because he didn't have distribution. And I'm like, now, because he did the deal with Koch where he sold half the Death Row catalog. So there's no way you could do this deal with Koch and not be able to negotiate distribution through Koch. But I think what it was, he wanted to be back with the big fish. Mm-hmm. Koch was independent back then. He wanted to be back with UMG up under that umbrella, and that's kind of what it was. And when that open door was open, his first 6 months out, he should have took what was available and grew on that instead of trying to force it the way he was able to in the early 90s. Yeah. And I think that's where he made his mistake.
Gotcha. Okay. Can you tell me about a time that, and Reggie told me about this, that you and Suge walked in on Danny Boy and somebody else. He didn't say who.
Danny Boy and, I just seen him the other day. Young Buck. Okay. Not Young Buck from G Unit.
L.A. Buck.
L.A. Buck, yeah. We had left, and Danny Boy did a lot of shit for Suge, like, you know, with his personal shit, like pick the kids up, shit like that. They had their own relationship. Right. And when we came back, we doubled back for something. And we went up to the penthouse. And they was up there 690. Yeah, they was giving each other oral sex. I know Young Buck. I just seen him the other day. You know, he all right with me, but the truth is the truth. Years after that, it came to me that he was with my homegirl, Danny Boy. So I tried to warn my homegirl, like, we grew up 2 houses from each other. I called and like, yo, you can't do that. And like, she was genuinely in love with him, you know. And I'm like, yo, you can't do that, dude, ain't right. She got mad at me. told me I was hating and not happy for her. And I'm telling her like, yo, you can't do that. You can't do that. She cussed me out a little bit. She went on to marry him. They went to Atlanta. And child was born. Everything seemed normal. Then one day, a tell-all book came out. And that's when she called me and said you was telling me the truth. So yeah, that definitely. But then one thing about Danny, he comfortable in his skin.
Yeah.
He don't care less. He gonna tell you what it is.
Yeah.
He comfortable in his skin. Actually, it's crazy. I was at a barbershop and they was like, yo, Wack, you ain't lying. Danny boy told us the dude got the best head in California. Yeah, Danny don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know when the last time you interviewed him, but Danny gonna speak his truth. And he know a lot. He knows a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Cause he was around Suge a lot. And depending on who you were, depending on how far in you was with Suge.
Right.
Some niggas was left outside. Danny boy was outside, inside, mama house, over here with the kids. Knew where that was at, this was at, that was at. So, a lot of people question things he says, but Suge himself told me that him and Danny was real close.
Okay. You were on a three-way for three, or maybe you were there for three very important calls with Suge. One that we'll start with is Jimmy Henchman. Were you on a call with Suge and Jimmy?
Definitely.
Can you talk about that?
I had no idea what was going on. Jimmy calls my phone. Says, yo, get Suge on the phone. Everything straight? Yeah, Wack, get Suge on the phone. Call Suge. Hey, he's like, what up? I say, Jimmy Henchman on the phone. He want to holler at you. Suge say, where you at, little bitch ass nigga? You sure could run fast, you little punk motherfucker. So at this time, I realized something going on. Right? I can't just hang the phone up.
Yeah.
So Jimmy tells him, yeah, you caught me slipping, but you didn't catch me. He said, I sent you one message already. Right? He's like, you ain't sent me shit. He said, shit, I sent you a message in Florida. So I know what he's talking about, right? So my eyes like, the fuck? He like, yeah, I sent you one message. He said, but I ain't giving you no more chances. Next time I catch you, you know what it's gonna be, right? So I guess Jimmy Suge had called him at the Century City Plaza, and Jimmy ran from him. Must have been by himself.
Okay.
I don't know if Suge was by himself, had a couple guys with him. But Jimmy little dude, and Jimmy fights his wars the way he fights his wars. By any means, he wasn't scared on the phone. He was a little frustrated and pissed off that dude that came at him that way, to a point to where he alerted him on some shit that we was all totally in the blind about. We didn't know he had anything to do with it. So he told him and let him know from this day on it's on. And then got off the phone. Yeah, wasn't no fear and wasn't no bowing down. Some of us, we'll lose 10 battles to win the war. And guess he felt like, shit, I don't know who Suge with. I'm in California. I'm by myself. I'm 150 pounds. Maybe I'm not right. Maybe it's not the right location. So let me live to fight another day. And that's just what that was. But that definitely happened on my phone.
Gotcha. Okay, and then what about a call with T-Money, the guy who allegedly shot Suge at the One Oaks Club? Were you on the phone call with him?
Suge disrespected T-Money on the phone.
Okay.
And T-Money was very respectful. He was covering for Akon at the time. And his only mission was if he thought Akon Akon's brother might have owed Suge some money. And he called me like, Akon, T-Money a crip. He like, yo, if I'm covering for somebody and they owe one of us some money, I'm gonna make sure he get his money. Right. That way he don't gotta worry about it, nobody gotta worry about it. So we was on the phone and T-Money was real respectful. Yo, man, what do he owe you? So I can make sure And what is it for? So I can make sure it's right. Suge just went into disrespecting him.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even then, T Money was very respectful. He's like, yo, we on Wack's phone, bro. It ain't about no gang shit. I'm just trying to figure out what they owe you. I'm a West Coast dude. I'm covering for them, you know. But if they owe one of us, by all means, the right thing to do is to make sure they square the debt.
Right.
Should continue to disrespect him. And T Money just politely said, all right, man, you know, all right, well, I tried. And he got off the phone, hung the phone up. He didn't say nothing too aggressive. You know, he didn't say nothing disrespectful. Suge was disrespecting him, you know. I think out of respect to me, T Money just kind of like ignored that. You know, I go back 33 years with T Money, Juvenile Hall. So again, another dude, you know, wasn't like he was scared or nothing. He just chose to deal with it that way and let it go. I think maybe months later or whatever, Suge got shot in a club. I don't know, and this is what's, I never asked T Money this. I don't know how in the fuck they figured or who gave them T Money's name as any involvement in that. But I do know T Money, they raided his home. He was arrested. And I think where the twist comes at is T Money really went to prison. But he didn't go to prison for a shooting. I think he went to prison one time they raided his home. They might have found a gun or something. So I think he went to prison for a gun case for a year or two and came home. But the fact that he went to prison, and I don't know, I gotta ask T Money because it definitely gotta be in that warrant and in his paperwork. If that's what that one was about, who fingered him or who gave his name up or so. But it was a club. And the fact that it was a club and 200, 300, 400 people in there, T Money the artist is VIP. I think if that would have happened in front of all those people, he would have went to jail for more than possession of the gun. But again, the mystery is who gave him T Money's name. So I've never had that discussion with him. I'm gonna definitely call him on that, see if he'd tell me. But that's why that whole thing was, because his name was in it. They raided his home for that. They might have arrested him for that. But ultimately, he ended up going to jail for the gun they found during the raid. Whatever the initial thing, if it was that, it was dropped or dismissed.
Gotcha.
Okay. Can you talk about a call that you were on where a fade was set up with Tata, Lloyd Lake?
Oh, Tata from San Diego, Emerald Hills. Yeah, that was in, Suge was like in a casino or something, right? San Diego.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, Tata's a dude, the Reggie Bush situation. That's who Reggie Bush was supposed to did the sports agency thing with. Something didn't work out. That's how White lost his Heisman. I believe that's him.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Tata definitely wanted to fight. I don't know, what was it behind? Some money, a deal or something. But Tata, they was down in San Diego in a casino. And Tata definitely wanted to fight. Suge didn't want to fight. You know, they both pretty big dudes. You know, I noticed a lot of these real big dudes, they don't want to fight the big dudes. They'll fight the littler dudes, and then the little dudes end up catching a case because, you know, they end up shooting somebody or something. That's how that goes. But Tata definitely called Suge out. And Suge didn't want to fight him for whatever reason. But him and Tata was close at times. They was running around together.
Yeah.
You know, they was doing a lot of business together. So I really don't know what came of that. I believe it was some business dealings or something. Might have been something about that casino or a book deal. No, I got screwed on the book deal. But it was definitely something that went on that Tata wanted to fight. He called me, Suge, in here, get him on the phone. I got him on the phone. Yo, you had a casino in Dago, Tata in there. He want to holler at you. Suge, like, holler about what? And it's a little confusing to me because y'all was just together. So I'm thinking it's cool.
Yeah.
Tata, tell him, you know what your bitch ass did, such and such. I see who you with. Come outside, let's get it out the way. He didn't want to do it. So that was it.
Can you briefly speak on paying for the funeral for a close relative of Suge, and then Suge talking negatively.
Yeah, that was a little different. So Suge called me. He was trying to get his the movie thing done, and I had some business going on. Some cats that ran a hedge fund. I think it was something in access to like $30 million or something like that to do the movie, but he needed some legal, and none of the attorneys would represent him because word was out he wasn't paying, and I think a few attorneys that got like indicted, shit going on. So he knew I got my own relationships with my own attorneys. One of my attorneys, one of the top ones out here, Alex Kessel. So I called Mr. Kessel, told Mr. Kessel's situation. Kessel tells me if I will guarantee the money, he'll work on it. So he goes down there and visits Suge County Jail, does all that. In the process of this happening, Suge's mother passes. So, you know, I'm hearing rumors, but you know, you never know. Long story short, I get a call. He like, yo, they selling dinners, family trying to figure it out. Figure what out? My mother's burial. So I'm like, you know, it's Suge night. I know it's a little rocky, but I don't know it's that rocky. I'm saying, you saying you ain't got the money to bury your mother? He like, I'm a little short. How short? He like, I'm tapped out. You know, first I gave it some thought. I'm like, you know what? Go ahead on and see what you're gonna do, and you know, let me know. So I let about 3-4 days go by, and I'm one of those dudes where a body needs to be in the ground in 10 days, or it starts to get a little messed up. So I called down there. Well, close female friend of Suge is keeping me updated on what's going on. So I called down to the mortuary, and I asked him, yo, what's the balance owed? Or what does it cost? It was like 15, 16,000, somewhere around there. So I'm like, well, what's owed? They're like, well, we're in contact with the family. They haven't brought us anything yet. So I had my wife. I think I was supposed to go on vacation somewhere. I was supposed to do something with that money. But I told my wife the situation. She didn't fight me on it, so my wife wired it by company. Fifth Amendment Entertainment paid for his mother's funeral, which is me. So I wired everything there. And then after the fact, I guess, what do you call it, the repass came up. So I even provided the catering and paid for the location in Compton. It was like one of their centers down there in Compton to have that after thing at. So yeah, I definitely paid for all that. Then years later, he says, yeah, Wax is nothing but a truck driver. So I asked myself, I'm like, shit, should I take that personal? The music mogul had to call the truck driver to cover the cost. So, you know, shout out to the truckers. At the time I was in music, I'd already had some game projects out. Me and Ray G was very successful with our projects. So, you know, I don't know, it was just a little different, man. It seemed to me like somebody covered the cost of my mother's funeral expenses. I wouldn't be that way. I wasn't supposed to hear the recordings. I don't know who sent me the recordings. Somebody that Suge was on the three-way ads calling everywhere, I guess, had recorded him. Yeah. And no, they actually leaked him on the internet. Kind of tripped me out, but you know, if you know Suge, you know him. You're gonna like him for what you like him for, and you're gonna expect the other bullshit to come with it. Yeah. So you know, I wish him the best.
Okay. Can you talk about how you hooked up with 6ix9ine and what you guys are working on currently?
I hooked up with 6ix9ine. How'd I hook up? Oh, Academics called me. Okay. He like, yo, man, you probably the only one I feel like could really question 6ix9ine the right way. You know, but I don't know if it's gonna work. You know, I know you got something against him. Like, I ain't got nothing against the dude. Again, I don't agree with what he did, but I don't agree with what they was doing. Right. I felt like, you know, it started with the seed. Without the seed, there's no root, no tree, no branches, no leaves. I believe 6ix9ine was a branch in the leaves, to this problem. So he like, yo, I got a studio down in Miami. I said, I'll be down there anyway. Set it up. So he called 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine was like, all right, cool. It originally was supposed to happen in my suite. Okay. So whatever reason, they were like, you know what? We're going to do it at a neutral location. Act went and got one of his friends set up. It was nice. So I got up that morning, went down there, just me, my wife, and my children. Showed up. Act looks down the hallway. Nobody else with you? Me, my wife, my daughter, and her friend, actually. He called 6ix9ine, yo, Wack here. He asked him who he there with. His wife and 2 little girls. All right, I'm on the way. He showed up. Right? You got to understand, this is Wack 100 interviewing 6ix9ine. Right? This is entertainment. This is not a street situation with me. Right. It's entertainment. Academics, a top blogger, podcaster calls me to do an interview with this individual. Everybody in here are regular people. Right. My wife, my daughter, her friend is in here. Even if I was on some bullshit, this is not the environment for that to happen. Within sitting down talking to 6ix9ine, my position is to get him to understand he's not a gangster. And that if he was, he would have took the 40 years. His position was to let me know I am a gangster, and no way I was going to take that time for them dudes who did the things they did to me. It took him about a year to understand it, because he ended up calling me New Year's this year and telling me, I realized Wacky was right, I'm not a gangster. But nevertheless, within having that conversation, I met Danny, right? And I met Danny. He didn't give me his phone number that day. Maybe a week later after that, my attorney calls me. He said, hey, I got some people want to, some business with him. They got $1 million for him. Blase, if you can make it happen. They don't know who to talk to. I'll call academics. Academics put the group text together. Called 6ix9ine, gave me his attorney number. My attorney, his attorney, then paperwork just started flowing. It was like that maybe about a month. And then he was like, yo, man, why don't you come down to Miami? Let's really sit down and have a conversation. He may help me with some other things. Flew to Miami by myself. He pulls up in a Rolls Royce, picks me up, him and his girlfriend. We go from Miami to Opelika private airport. Tell you how smart he is. I ain't asking no question. I'm like, well, maybe he had a meeting to private airport. Pretty smart. Right. Ain't nothing around here. Yeah. I didn't know where we was going to meet at. Nah, it was a little deeper than that. So you got your passport? I said, I keep my passport. He said, great. He booked a jet. We went to the Bahamas. Yeah. Where we going? To the Bahamas. For what? To have a meeting. So I'm thinking about it. Anywhere around here we meet, I could have sent a pin drop. I could have did anything. Right. So he jumps on the jet. We go to the Bahamas. I'm like, yo, you got a room? He like, nah, you a manager? Shit, find us a room. So I dangle our way into the Atlantis, which you're supposed to be booked prior to, but I've been there so many times. It was cool. They actually remember my wife's name, not mine. Okay. You know what I mean? So we got to the hotel. We sat down. He's like, look, I got this going on. I know you're able to get these things going on. I give you a cut. Keep your business. I'm going to open up my doors. You call me direct. You talk to me direct. So business come. We close it. You make money. I make money. And that's what it is. And that's what it been. But I can't front. I don't agree with what he did. But I don't think he should have been in a position to do what he did. Okay. But Danny, that individual, he a cool dude. I don't have gun conversations, street conversations. That's not what we talk about. Usually if he calls me, he's dropping the kids off at school or he's fucking jogging, and we talking about, putting something together or this, that, and other. And he's called me to put things together. I have friends on my side that it was bad business done. One of my friends, $500,000 was taken and he didn't get a service. Called me. I called 6ix9ine. He said I'm gonna come see him personally. took him his $500,000 back on the strength of me.
Yeah.
You know, I had a situation that was broke in Russia just last week. He called me on FaceTime and fixed that. Okay. Me and the promoter got in a big fight out there. Now that's a region that's opened back up for me. As you see, he was just there. Yeah. So, you know, it's been working for both of us on both sides. Okay. And I'm looking forward to do future business with him as well. Okay. You know, I don't allow the streets to dictate what I do in the corporate world. Two different places.
Can you tell me what your opinion is? I know you had posted about this on Instagram, but Mystical getting charged with the sexual charge that he got, numerous times.
I'm a Mystical fan.
Okay. A lot of people are.
I fuck with Cash Money. I'm with Stunner, right or wrong. But I'm a Mystical fan. To a point that when I used to do shows out here for Live Nation, me and my boy AD, Adrian Scott, used to be the program director at K-Day. When it came to Mystical and another artist, even if they didn't fit the lineup, I would always include them. Okay. Mystical and Juvenile. And I was just a Mystical fan. To a point that I never knew about the other allegations. I knew he went to jail, but I didn't really know what for. Yeah. So when I learned that, is this his third?
Third or fourth, something like that.
Third or fourth.
Yeah.
And I seen a poster where it said Mystical made the victim pray before raping her. Now, I don't know if it's some propaganda stuff, and I don't know if this really happened, because if it really happened, blessings and prayers to the victim. But at this point, outside of the music, we got to call a spade a spade. 3-4 times, 3-4 different women, I think it's something going on there. And, you know, the truth is the truth. You know, whatever punishment fits the crime is what he should have to face. You know, am I a Mystical fan of his music? Definitely. I'm a fan of R. Kelly's music. I love R. Kelly's music. Grew up on R. Kelly's music. I'm not telling you I agree with whatever it is he was doing. Music-wise, I'm a fan of his music. So, you know, whatever punishment they got coming, you know, they got to stand in that fire. So what that is.
Yeah. Okay. Can you talk about how you initially became the games manager? And the reason I ask that is Spider Loc is always adamant about saying that a story was told that he was there with 40 Block and some other people that were pushing up on Game at one point. But he says he wasn't there. But he says when you retell the story, sometimes you put him there and he gets all upset about that. So,
well, it's funny because the dude that just walked in was dead too, right? Actually, we had just met 15 minutes before that. Okay. Literally. So, and that's not really how I became his manager, though. Okay. Actually, when I left that situation, I didn't have Game's number or none of that. Okay. We had to be at the Four Seasons Hotel. The homie Briss from Westside Paru calls me. It's me, Suge, Lil Jon, and Zap. Okay. I'm just meeting Lil Jon and Zap. I get a call from Briss. Where y'all at? I tell him. He like, yo, we over here boxed in. A bunch of these G-Unit West dudes or whatever got us boxed in. Who there? 40 Glock, Spider Loc, did he say Mob Deep? Whatever, right? I tell Suge. Suge at the time had a dislike for Game. Fuck him. Fuck that nigga. Suge, that's a Paru. Until Paru say he ain't Paru, we gotta respond to it as homies. I'm on my way. Get my car to valet. He hears Lil Jon and Zap hear the conversation. I just meet the homies. It ain't been 5-10 minutes. They hear what's going on. They like, shit, the homie finna go over here and address this. I guess in their head, we got to roll with the homie. I jump in my car. I think I had a Benz at the time. Like a plum burgundy 550 Benz. Shoot up Sunset. I get there. Sure enough, Gang, 4 dudes is kind of like in the valet. They on Sunset. I pull in. I get out. Now, I don't know why Spider Loc always denies this, because he the one I talked to. Because I didn't really know nobody else like that. I knew 40 Glock very on another level because I knew him through, it was this group called YA. Okay. Roscoe, Corrupt's little brother, had a group called Youth Authority. Yep. Him, another dude, there's other little youngster that was hard out of New Orleans. He ended up catching like a murder beef or some shit in the middle of it. And 40 Glock used to carry their bags. That's how I met 40 Glock. Carry their bags, right? He was carrying their bags, trying to get in the group. Right. So I'm not, you know, I know his face, but I don't know him like that. Yeah. Spider Loc there, me and Spider Loc go back to Death Row days. Right. Spider used to catch the bus up to Death Row and he used to hustle, come in with his backpack, write his raps, and in hopes of getting a deal. You know what I mean? Nothing against that, but that's what he was. We was two different things at Death Row. I'm already pulling up in Mercedes and Escalades, and he trying to find his way, which is cool, nothing wrong with that. Right. So I felt like I had a rapport with Spider Loc. When I pull in, I see the Suburban in the middle of the street. Maybe like 3, 4 minutes after that, Suge pulls in. He's in that red Bentley. This one, the Bentley just come out. Yeah. The little 2-door hardtops. So at this time, I can imagine what's going through Game head. He know I run with Suge. Me and him ain't never had no personal issues though. He got these dudes on the sidewalk and now Suge pulls in. It's looking like a bad day for Game. Yeah. The time I don't think he knew that Briss called me. So when I get out, I have a conversation with Spider. And I tell Spider, what we doing? He like, you know, G on the West, this, that. I said, all right, well, where 50 at? His beef with 50. This is some gangbang shit. There's a bunch of Crips out here. The homies is Power Rules and Bloods and shit. Like, there's some gangbang shit. Dude, Wave from Queens. Don't nobody turn the West out. The West turn niggas out. So you telling me he got you out here like this on game? So I'm trying to understand. Right? So, you know, Spider go to talk his talk. And we ain't being aggressive towards each other because there's no reason to be. We know each other. He ain't got no issues with me. I ain't got no issues with him. Right? Right now, today, I'm still a little curious on what his issue is with me, but whatever. Since then, he's made songs about me, like real songs. Promote me. Big up at me, right? So we come to the conclusion, all right, Wack, we're going to let it go. But it's like that. Cool. They leave. I walk up on Game, holler at Briss. He introduced me to Game. Game like, y'all know who you are, know your name, blase, blase. Suge stay where he at. He couldn't just get in his car and leave. You know, the homies is in the middle of the street in the Suburban. Did what they were supposed to do. As far as having my back with the situation. You know, we were straight. However they wanted to do it, we were straight. Right. Wasn't no losing that day. Because we got the front and the back. The drop is on us. We good. And that's the first day I met Game as far as face-to-face. And maybe about 3 months later, I started managing this artist called Stacey Adams. So Game was in studio at the time working on LAX and Encore. So we put a call in through another homie from Watts. I need to have a conversation with him, trying to get a feature done, see if he'd do it for me. Yeah. So we're like, yeah, tell him to pull up. So when I pull up, he raps about it in on Jesus Piece. When he said, let me tell you how I first met my nigga Wack. When I met him, he was with Suge. It wasn't always to the good, right? So when I came in the studio, he's in the booth. He motioned for me to come in the booth. I go in the booth, he go in his pocket, give me everything he had. I said, that ain't what I'm here for. I need a feature for my artist. At the time, I'm not realizing the artist I got is one of his security's little brother, Big Dan. And Big Dan had just left him and went to Akon, but it wasn't no bad blood or nothing, right? So he like, nah, keep that. Least I can do, and I'm gonna do the feature anyway. I tried to give it back to him, he wouldn't take it back, right? So he does the feature. He say, man, come, I'm gonna be here like another month or two, you know, keep pulling up. You know, so as I'm coming through there, I'm just watching the vibe of the room. And it's probably my first time being in that type of setting. Total different setting. Ray J's R&B. Right. You know, being at this type of magnitude of artist, his setting, watching how he works and You know, Game's a monster. He do 4, 5, 6 songs a night. And I met EP. These dudes over here cooking up beats while he's writing to a song. It was like an operation, being able to watch it. And through that, we exchanged information. And the same thing like 6ix9ine. You know, people started calling me, hey, man, we got some business for Game and this, that, and other. Game at the time was like managed by Jimmy Henchman. Yeah. But Game allowed me to bring business to him, but I had to oversee the business. And through that, I brought him a couple deals and this, that. And I think my big push was me and AD doing these Live Nation shows. So I was able to position Game on these shows, get him 6-figure numbers, put him on these shows. And from that, I just continued to grow and grow and grow and do other things for him. And Jimmy goes to jail. Interscope drops Game. And the mother company he signed to, which is Desperado Records, still have one more with him. And they're disgruntled with Game. Yeah. So they can really put him on the shelf. Game reaches the cash money to do something with them. I understand what's going on internally. I get on the plane to Miami and I go to New York and see Alan Grumblack. Tell Alan, if I can deliver him Game, can we do some business? He said, if the business goes through you, you deliver him, we could definitely do some business. My contracts would be with you. Still have one problem. I know he's still signed to Desperado. Right. So I called T-Money. Okay. Same T-Money. Yeah. T-Money and Kenji is from the same neighborhood. Could you set up a meeting? Set up a meeting. We met at the Montage in Beverly Hills. Sat down with K-Dog, which is Kenji. He expressed, you know, his ill feelings and, you know, I couldn't really say nothing about it because it was things that really had nothing to do with me and I couldn't tell this man how to feel. But he was real about it. You know, he said, Wack, if you take care of me and the business goes through you and it's your contract, I'll sign off and let the album go, but I got to get my same cut. So I was pretty much cut out of the deal because it's the only way it's going to happen. Right. So I took that lick. From that came Year the Wolf. Once we got that, put closure to that, then it was directly with me. And that's where you got Documentary 2 and 2.5. Okay.
Is that why, like, on Jesus Piece, Baby Calls, it says this is the last one and then your cash money?
Yeah, that was, all that was supposed to happen. Gotcha.
Okay. Can you talk about the situation that you have that's ongoing with Stutterbox? I know Greg is working on getting us the either audio or the...
Yeah, I talked to Reggie today. Yeah. He said he'd been in talks with Greg. I guess Greg got some of the audio, I guess Stutterbox was telling. Right. You know, it really not an ongoing thing because it's like, I'm kind of like a victim, but I'm not. I survived it. But it just lets me know the route of the streets. Everybody in the streets knew that situation. Everybody in the streets watched that man go to CCB court on 7, 8 of his homeboys and line them up and tell. I knew the inner workings of it because we was neighbors. So I knew when the car got shot up, I knew all that, what was going on. I just didn't know he had went to the police. I didn't know that I didn't know he was a working informant. For the feds initially, and the feds, I believe, then referred him to LAPD, which was Greg Cadence. I was always a target. I didn't come to know about Greg Cadence till after my door was kicked in, my wife was handcuffed, and they took a bunch of my files down to the Wilshire building, the federal building, right? I guess the initial case, from what I understood, was the investigation of the murder of Biggie Smalls, which was being handled on the Fed side. And I think the feds kind of like joined forces with Greg Cadence, LAPD special units, right? So I think a lot of federal funding and federal buildings and was being used, which I know to be true because it would be times that Stutterbox would call me. Like one time, he called me to meet him at Stevie's on Ventura Boulevard, soul food place, right? So I get in there, I don't know, you know, he got these 2 chicks with him, you know. But Stutta Box always got women with him.
Right.
He like, yeah, these two chicks, you know, she from New Orleans and she from whatever they hear. You know, they just want to holler at us. You know, they cool. Some bad bitches, you know, and I'm looking at Box like, all right. You know, we order food. Box gets up, goes to the bathroom. When he goes to the bathroom, the one chick says from New Orleans says, yeah, we was here to buy 5 keys. But our connection, he went dark. You know, Box tells us that, you deal with Suge. So I'm like, what the hell Suge got to do with 5 keys, right? What the fuck do I got to do with 5 keys? But at the time, I'm not understanding what's going on. I said, look, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
So I make my way to the bathroom. Instead of going left, I go right to valet. I get out of there. 15 minutes later, Box like, where you go? Because he didn't came back. Where you go? Man, I'm on my way home. Oh, bro asking me something about 5 keys and Suge and all that. I don't know who you with, bro, but watch your back. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah.
Now, what's shocking is, fast forward months later, I find a tracking device on my diesel. It's in the book. I didn't know what it was.
Right.
I call my company. I'm thinking they put something on my diesel, trying to monitor my driving versus my logbook. Right? And this my mechanic that still works down there today will verify this. I called him on the phone. Hey man, pissed off. Man, you put something on my, on my truck. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Call local police department. Whole time, Craig Cadence is listening to the wiretap. So I guess they was able to see where I was at, call ahead. So when I called, the police department gave me this mumbo jumbo. Oh yeah, they've been doing that to trucks in the area. Go ahead and take the box off. Leave it there. We're going to be on the way. This, that, and other. Okay. I don't know about it. I'm still in the dark. Right? So this when the light came on. When they raid my home, they watch my wife take my kids to school, come back, they come in. They're running all through the house. They don't find her. They find a firearm that's registered to my wife. Right? Greg thinks his leverage is, well, Wack lives in the house. He's an ex-convict, right? He's supposed to be around firearms. Little did Greg know that I'm not a resident of the state of California anyway. So I owned like 7, 8 houses at the time. Matter of fact, at that time, I had about 12. I was heavy in real estate. Yeah. So they took a bunch of my files. I go down there where I think my attorney was Jeffrey Brody at the time. Tell Brody to meet us at the Wilshire District. We get up there. It's Officer Greg and his partner. But this what fucks me up. When we come off the elevator, I see a bunch of people in FBI flag jackets. Guess who one of the persons I see? The fucking female from New Orleans that asked about the 5 keys. See, this get deeper than what he talking about. Yeah. Right? And he was already working with the feds on whatever he been working on with dealing with everybody in LA County. From the understanding with my attorney and Greg, they didn't know Box. Box was sent to them by the feds. So the question everybody need to ask is, what was he already doing with the feds? He was already working with them. It's documented, right? So when I came off and I seen the chick, because she was real fine, like a Creole style girl, right? I said, damn, that's the one. That's when the light came on. But it still hadn't registered. I still don't know at this time. I'm telling myself, oh shit, I wanted Box know this motherfucker's the feds. I still ain't put it together. So when we sit down, my attorney go to threaten to file a harassment suit. I live in a gated community. You done kick this dude's door in, embarrassment, this, that, other, this, that, and other, this, that. We still don't know what basis they had for that. Right. It doesn't come out till we're pressing about this lawsuit until we get to the bottom. And they have a talk with my attorney like, look, man, we need him to drop that lawsuit. Things that happen between then. I've been pulled over leaving Encore Studio, Game Studio, right? Searched, cuffed up, ran through my car, didn't find nothing. I go to Burbank Police Department. I memorized the license plate number of the vehicle. So y'all made to file a complaint, harassment, this, that, and other. Got my attorney on the phone, this, that, and other. Right? You can go pull this shit up. I'm pretty sure it's a case number to this. Right? They're like, I give them the license plate to the vehicle. They said, don't make sense. That's definitely LAPD vehicles, not ours. They offer offers like off of San Fernando in the LA area. Go to this address. I get to the address. I'm in there like talking my shit to the whoever the watch commander is. And they like, we don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, yeah, I just left Burbank. This license plate is registered to your police department. They pulled me out, searched my vehicle without my consent. At this time, I'm oblivious to this shit. All this is box. Right? They trying to catch me dirty. Right? Guess what walks in the door? The two fucking officers. It's like 2 in the morning. I said, that's them right there. So even Greg says, he like, yeah, you was a different type of animal because who memorizes a license plate number, right? So I didn't know until Greg was like, look, man, you got this lawsuit on us. We don't know nothing the fuck about you. We don't want to know nothing the fuck about you. And I think Greg had made his mind up, because I don't know what it went in previously, that he had it with Stutterbox. So he tells me like, yo, this dude right here is the one put us on you, this, that, another. I'm in shock. Because I'd never had discussions with Stutterbox about my trucking business, what I did. He would always call and tell me, yeah, my homeboy Baldhead, some dude named Baldhead. My homeboy Baldhead drive trucks. But why he don't make no money like that. He's still struggling to do this, that, and other. So I think in his head, he like, how this dude living behind the gate with me? He got Mercedes Benzes, his kid is going to private school. Like, I think in his head, he's like, okay, I know he do business with Suge. He put together his own little thing and says, because he's asking, where you going? Oh, down here by TJ. But it's a city called National City where the car carrier boats dock. Yeah. So we load Bentley, Porsche, Toyota, Mazda, all that's loaded down there, right? And he's like, where you headed? Oh, man, I'm going northwest. It was a great run. Run played like 15, 16,000. Great run, right? So I think he put all this in his head that, because he knows some truck drivers, he would always reference some dude named Baldhead from his neighborhood. I don't know the dude. Yeah. Man, he don't make that kind of money, so I think in his head, he's like, this dude doing something. And he fed him. He didn't even snitch, he lied snitch. Yeah. That's a different kind of snitching. Because you fabricated some shit and then told it to the police and put them on me. Right? And that's there it came. But Reggie told me working on getting some tapes and stuff because he's very adamant about what he did or didn't do. Everybody in Los Angeles, the fact that he could sit there with Spotted Logan and whoever this other little dude is that don't know how to talk, I don't know this little dude. And they say, yeah, we know you told on the homies, but that's cool. He says nobody went to jail. Well, I'm confused. In CCB court, them 7 dudes got on the county jail bus and got transported to downtown and came out of the back in LA County jail jumpsuits. They fought that shit down there 9 months. What does he mean nobody went to jail? They was in jail for this case that you pointing the finger at them on. Right? What you mean? The only reason why they beat prison is because they was able to line you up, make you perjure yourself on the stand, and claim you wasn't a fucking informant, and in walks Greg Cadence, which I orchestrated that with Mark Stevens and my attorney. The only one came from that. You dropped the shit, we dropped the shit. I used it for that to help a certain individual out. I called my attorney, had the attorney put Greg Cadence and Mark Stevens together. They put that together to Ag's box on stand. If you go pull the paperwork, have you ever been a confidential informant to work for the LAPD, the FBI as a known snitch? He lied on the oath and said no. Greg Cadence takes a stance, provides a document that this dude is in fact one of our informants, this, that. At that point, the judge looks at it. He perjured himself. Therefore, any allegations or any claims he's bringing on anybody is non and void. They dropped the charges on these 7 Crips and let them go. So in a sense, this Paul Roof freed the Crips. But, you know, my target was to help another individual out. And that's where that came from. Okay. And all this, you ain't got to talk about it. Go to CCB court. You can use the main dude's name, Liddell Ross, Robert Ross, the people, which is the DA side, versus Liddell Ross. That could be a controlling document in CCB court. Pull that up, and you'll have all the transcripts. Or go to Google and put Robert Ross in there, and it'll pop up Channel 9 News, Channel 11 News, you know, what it was. This ain't no, you know, and it amazes me on how everybody act like they don't know. I guess it's a statute of limitations just to telling. But you know, hey, they got to live with that. I'm not worried about him. You know, I've always kept communication with him, answering my phone, because he's one of those dudes you got to know how to see him, know where he at. You know what I'm saying? You know, so I got tons of text messages. Speedy, our man from Hard Time Hustlers, is incarcerated right now. You know, witness that man on the phone saying, I told on Wack. I got the recordings. I'm just waiting for the right time to flame him up. I told on Wack. I was hating on him. Speedy's a reputable Crip. Those of y'all know him. Tap in with him. One thing about him, he gonna side with what's right. So, you know, I ain't gotta do no back. I'm not finna do no back and forth with a known rat. Brother Will from the Fruit of Islam and the Nation of Islam went to these court dates and watched this man point these fingers out. These is real people, right? It was a lot of people in there. So, and it's documented. But if everybody want to act like it didn't happen, cool, it didn't happen. I was always a target. A target is not a CI. They try to flip a target to a CI by catching the target up on a situation, and he's in fear of going to prison or whatever, and then they try to see what he can give them on somebody. That's how that works. We know the game. Right. I was a target.
But they're never able to find anything with you doing anything wrong to try to use that against you.
Greg wrote about it in his book, Murder Rap, chapter Stutta Box.
Yep. And they even depicted that in the TV show.
I was a truck driver.
Yep. Okay. Can you talk about how you and Kanye got together to give him the laptop and the hard drives and all that stuff for the Ray J tape?
Me and Kanye came together. Actually, no, Kanye called my phone. Okay. He got my number. I was doing a back and forth with the Kardashian attorney on social media. They was telling me I was a lie. I said certain things back. Kanye being Kanye said, you know what? I don't know, man. This brother seemed pretty adamant. Yeah. Somehow he got my phone number, called me direct. Wanted to meet me. Look, bro, I want to meet you. So I had his phone, just this conversation face to face, me and you. I'll come wherever you want me to come. Yeah. Right? I didn't know what to think of it. At the time, I had one of my close friends from Chicago named Promise. I knew I had some business going on with Kanye. I called Promise to check into it, because I didn't want to get caught up in a situation where they thought I was like some conspiracy shit or extortion shit, because it wasn't about that. He like, nah, man, dude just really want to meet you. He's solid. So I called him. How did I meet Kanye the first time? I don't know. I can't remember where I met him at. Soho House somewhere. So whatever it was, we met at the Soho House. It was real quick. We had a conversation. He like, yo, man, meet me at Van Nuys Private, man. Take this trip with me. We go over on the plane. So he like, yo, bring the wife and the kids. So I think we ended up in like Minnesota, some goddamn where. His team had a basketball game or whatever. And within that, things was going on. It was like management shit. I was there. I just kind of filled in and kept things going. Him and Gang been what they were, early 2000s. I told him, you know, the tapes exist. They're real. And I meant what I said. We wasn't giving to nobody but you. You know, when the kids come to play and get involved and all, it ain't about that. People been trying to buy that stuff from me and Ray J for years, bro. 2 million, 3 million, 5 million. You know, Ray J became a father. He see things different. So, you know, I put him and Ray J on the phone, they talk, and then put it together to where, because me taking it is still like leaving a loose end. Maybe a distaste for Ray J, which it shouldn't be, because this was before Kanye's time. Right. So him and Kanye came together, Ray J delivered what he delivered. And I don't think Kanye did anything wrong. He, you know, he took it back to his wife as a, hey. Yeah. And this is at a time It's where you gotta salute Kanye. This is at a time where he feel he's being disrespected with other things going on. You know, they're not really together.
Right.
So, you know, the fact that he would do that and not hold it over her head itself, because once we give it to Kanye, what Ye want to do with it is what he want to do with it.
Right.
But he chose to take it back to her. You know, he did a stand-up thing that I feel. And the problem came, which ain't got nothing to do with Kanye, is when they scripted in there for her to say, because now you've exposed that it is a second sex tape. And you and your attorney's been telling Wack 100 he's lying. When she says, oh, maybe it is a sex tape. Maybe he drugged me and stuck something up my ass and did it then. So now you just insinuated that Ray J committed sodomy and rape.
On national TV.
On national TV, which killed a lot of business off of Ray J. Killed a lot of business. He's just not music, he's a tech guy. A lot of things on the table. That's a very distasteful allegation to make towards anybody, especially a black man in America today. Knowing that this man really surrendered it, turned it over, and it never came out. But we still had all the contracts and everything that, you know, so this is why, you know, when Ray J kind of did what he did a couple weeks ago, you haven't heard anything. You know, but, you know, we go to phase 2 of it, and we will figure it out. Pretty sure we'll come to some type of understanding. But you can't blame Kanye. Is not part of the production of that reality show.
Right.
He probably had no idea she was going to say that. Me knowing Kanye, if he knew that that was scripted in there, he wouldn't have had nothing to do with that because he's all for his people.
Yeah.
Right? And he knew Ray J showed him a gesture of respect doing what he did. So, you know, so that's how, you know, we're still in communication. Time to time, we do business here or there. You know, if I need to reach that way, I go through the proper channels, and that's just what it is.
Can you talk about how you initially hooked up with Baby from Cash Money and what's going on with Cash Money West, if you're still doing that venture with him?
Yeah, I'm doing that. I got to bring the right thing to him. But me and Birdman been knowing each other for, probably about 15 years or better, you know, in our passing. And, you know, I was always there to fill in the blank, whether he asked me to or not. He was always there to open the door for me. Whether it was a clearance on the artist or whatever, he's always showed me nothing but love and respect. Maybe about 2017, you know, he said he wanted to expand and do some things, and he gave me opportunity. From that came Blueface, Savvy Third. Savvy's Third actually still under contract. So he'll probably be the next one you hear come out under Cash Money West. He's still under contract. I actually want to meet with him this week to go over these details. But yeah, it's still there. You know, Birdman, one of those things that when you got it, let's go. You know what I mean? Like, he's real easy to deal with, straightforward, down to earth. You know, that's my brother. That's somebody I'll listen to. Somebody that can't chastise me and I respect it. You know, it's only a handful of those, but he's definitely one of them.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Can you talk about, I know there was a big situation with Jay Prince a couple months back. Is there any update with that? Were you guys able to hash anything out?
I haven't talked to him. I got a call from the FBI. I did get a call from the FBI.
Okay.
Kind of alert me and warning me they've heard some things,
Okay.
which you know how that go.
Yeah.
But their mission was to get me to, they was asking if I felt threatened, if him or his people had issued any threats or something like that.
Okay.
And you know, I informed them that none of that has happened. I don't feel threatened. He hasn't issued any threats, and I know nothing about it. I recorded them and sent it to his people.
Okay.
So they can send to him. You know, I even called him on the number I had. Even though his issues going like that,
Right.
police shit like that start going around, I'm always standing on one side of it. But what I've done is I put the attorneys on the lady I was representing on my side online with the attorneys or with the Hoover family.
Okay.
Let them hash it out.
Gotcha. Okay. But as far as with the footage and stuff that
She
Casey
still has it.
Okay.
It's hers, by right,
Yeah.
contractually.
Okay. All right. There was a rumor online that you had bought Orlando Anderson's life rights. Is that true or no?
I'm in conversation.
Okay. So it's a possibility.
Yeah, strong possibility. I'm in conversation. I'm talking to Andrew Ruff down at Paradigm's chairman down there, seeing if something he can green light it. If he can green light it, then I'll go do the business with his family. But I think that's a story that needs to be told.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about it, but nobody knows nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think Glasses Malone did a video a couple years back, Tupac Must Die, where he tried to tell it from his perspective. And
yeah, and I got family on our side. Just do my guy Big Bruce.
Okay.
Yeah, Big Bruce from Compton Crib. So he's orchestrating all that. But it's a strong probability that that's gonna happen.
Okay.
Probably do a TV series or something around it.
nice. Okay. Can you talk about when you first heard the rumors about Mob James, as far as him having that paperwork? And we did it on the channel like years.
We been knew Mob James was telling though.
Okay.
But it was a respect thing because of who his brothers were. And they was still at death row. So it wasn't nothing new, but back then the internet wasn't what it is today. And I think what really struck it is when, I don't know if that was Reggie. I warned Reggie when Reggie let him on the podcast. And I warned Reggie about that. And he ended up screwing Reggie out of a deal later on. But the fact that it's hard paperwork, the actual gentleman that was the victim of the paperwork, what's the homie name? FG?
Yep.
Yeah, the homie FG. He's been on Clubhouse and he spoke his truth. And we went over the paperwork. It is what it is. That's just what you are. That's why when the conversation to him and Charleston White comes up, I don't really pay it any attention, because actually I'm not going to say they one and the same, because Charleston White was never what Mob James was when he was actively gang banging. But what is it to say about it? That man's damn near 60 years old, if not over 60.
Right.
I just think he should lay back and stay out of the light, because it's gonna come up every time when you talk the tough talk.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? So from what I hear, he's a grandfather and stuff like that. I think he should just do that and just stay clear of the BS.
Reggie had always talked about how you and Big U had a really tight relationship at one time.
Yeah.
Can you talk about what happened with that? Because now it seems obviously not as close.
Me and Big U met Suge night. Actually, Big U had caught a violation. I think Reggie had to help with trying to get him out. Suge helped with some attorney money. I want to say 03, 04, somewhere around there. And that's how we met. I met through Suge. And Suge, over the years, he's on and off with anybody. So me and Big U kind of like continued our relationship. And it was I respected him. I'm not going to even sit here in front like I didn't. I respected him. I learned to love his family, to care about his family. We both been in each other's homes. Our kids know each other. Diversity situations with his children, I overly participated in, whether it was helping, prove his son's innocence, cats on my side that was Bloods and man could help, we put everything together to, this wasn't about, this was his son, and I looked at his son like a nephew. No matter what it was, we was there, any situation that had something to do with me, whether I knew about it beforehand or not, he was also there for me. If that's what he needed to do. The fallout, once again, the two-headed snake, here comes Suge. Maybe 2020, maybe. I get a call from my label, E1. They said, man, we really want to tell you this, but Big U came down to see us. I'm not thinking nothing of it. He has artists signed to him. He said, yeah, Suge on the phone. Oh, okay. Still not thinking nothing of it. Like, yeah, man, they were trying to convince me to I don't know how they thought this could work, even if I wanted to do it, to give your contracts to Big U, and Suge is saying something about this is the only guy in Los Angeles that you're scared of. Now, those words never came out of Big U mouth. I'm not gonna put that. Came out of Suge's mouth. Oh yeah? Well, what you tell him? So I told him, man, we've been doing business with this man. He's like family. I gotta ask you to lead office. Great. So I'm kind of in the pickle. I don't know how to feel about it. So I said, all right. I waited a week. I wanted to see if Big U was gonna call me and tell me this happened. Hey man, I went down there, Suge had me go down there and said he was gonna negotiate a deal. He started saying some crazy shit. I had no idea he was gonna say this shit. This is what I'm hoping to hear. After a week, I don't hear nothing, so I called him on. Tell a few of my comrades around me at the time, they know who they are. Everybody know who was real close to me at the time, what happened. I even had that call too, when we addressed it and got everybody on the phone. I'm like, yo, bro, you really went to my label? And well, no, I didn't say it. Yeah, and about you said it, but you heard it being said in favor of you against me. Nobody could have sent me to the office saying, yo, give Wack Big U's contracts. Hold the fuck up. Yo, for one, I didn't tell you to do that. Two, I'm not here for that. Three, that can't happen. Right? So right then and there, we kind of like had an understanding of where that's what that was. You know, I sit back and think about it. He's been trying to get music a while. I don't know, man. You know, you never know what's going on in the minds of a man, you know? I don't know, like, what brought that on. But that's definitely what happened. That's how that went. It's nothing that I knew about anybody from his backyard that he didn't know about. No information, whether it was involving Nipsey. That goes both ways. Shit come to me, I'm gonna let him know what come to me. This what it is come to me. Things he knew, he let me know what came to me from his side. Black Sam, Nipsey's brother, he told me he's a rat. First time they first fall out, when he first got Nipsey signed, Nipsey come back, was a fallout. They went down, there was a fight, rumble happened. I believe Big U knocked Nipsey out. Black Sam comes out, fires 3-4 shots in the air. He's fresh out the penitentiary. Police sitting right across the street, they see it. They come in, they arrest everybody. Black Sam's on parole. We bail Big U out. Big U tells us, the police tell him, they let Black Sam go before he got a bail. Which is, gun, firing, fresh out, ain't supposed to happen like that. He tell him, that's when ours, leave him alone. So all these years, I've been looking at him like he's a rat anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of shit I see now be like weird to me because I'll be like, yo, being Big U went over to the Stutta Box paperwork together in 2008, 2009 at his home in the 60s. We knew what that was. Right? So, it's like, but then Stutta Box called me and cut his Big U's throat. I'm the one got him in a Laker game. Nigga ain't shit. They left him standing outside. I had to look out for him. This, that, other. Nigga think I'm slow. My Bentley got stolen in his neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? I know the nigga had something to do with it. I put him to sleep because he had an after hours. So I went over there and took him a bunch of liquor. So, I'm just sitting back and I'm watching the shit. So, when that last thing happened with my label, I just chose to step away from it. Quite naturally, the Nipsey thing is going on, which I didn't want that to come out to the world. High Sound released that. Once it's released and you ask me if I said it, you damn right I said it. You heard I said it, right? But everything on there, he's aware of. He set in my backyard with me and one of my other baby gangsters. I ain't gonna say his name. He know who he is. My homie just did 20 years. They was in the pen together. And informed us that Nipsey was a rat. We don't know nothing about this shit. And went over, the bullshit, little sex tape shit this other dude has. I'm not in the motherfucking shit. I don't own it. I didn't seen it. I got access to it. right? You know, we went over all kind of shit. That's why I be sitting back looking at this shit like damn, like I guess it's the popularity vote. Because anybody in their right mind gonna say, there's no way Wack knows something about that and he don't know. And vice versa. We too close. But, you know, whatever role they're gonna play, a narrative they play, they play. Yeah. Though eventually it'll play itself out. But at the end of the day, you know, Stutta, I'm not finna have a lot of comedy. He's a rat. That's just what that is. Documented. I don't give a fuck. You can go find that shit 10 different places. All of a sudden, he tells me I'm a CI. How am I a CI? And I'm the motherfucker that got the tracking devices, wiretaps, and getting raided. That's not the CI, that's the target. You can't be targeting CI at the same time. Most CIs had already been a target and got flipped to CI. Yeah. You can't find no charges of me ever charged or indicted or none of that. So you know it is what it is. But like I said, I'll let him argue with himself. When them tapes come out of him giving them statements and everything he did, then he can argue with himself. You know, other than that, I wish him the best of luck. He calls me about his personal shit. My wife is dying. He sends me fucking pictures of the wife and the paramedic. I got pictures on my phone, bro. I ain't 90 days old. Of his wife laid up in a hospital bed with fucking tubes in them. Right? So it's funny how, you know, Spotalope, that was funny. Because Box himself called me talking about I ran into Spotalope in Compton. I let him move around. I know where he at. Let me know what you want to do. I got a nigga that I know that's a rat telling me, let me know what I want him to do. I owe you one, W. Man, don't do nothing to that man. I'm not going to be your get out of jail free card. I really don't pay Spotter no attention because he know deep down inside, nigga, I ain't did nothing to you. You yourself just on my phone was asking me, can you sign me the Cash Money? When I open his phone up, bro, and go to Spotalope, he was making fake pages up saying I signed him to Cash Money West. Right? So, you know, I think they get mad. That's Spider. Check it out. It's Spider. August 13th. You see that? August 13th. Yeah. He made a fake thing up with Wack 100. What did it say? Well, Wack 100 signed Spotalope to Cash Money West. Right? With a bullshit kick right there. There you go. That's Spider, right? Then he sends me stuff on his homie, Melvin Butler, asking me to take it to Nick Cannon, right? He sends me, oh, this is Spider, right? If you notice, you don't really see me responding, right? Yeah. Right? I asked him, who the fuck is Melvin Butler? Like, why are you sending me this shit, right? Mm-hmm. You see all this, right? Yeah. You go down, he's telling me, all right, I'm gonna show you where he gets mad at. Gets down, he wants to send me some music. I give him an email. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. Goes down. All right? Song was called Best Friends. He tells me he sends it. It's Spot in the Gray. Yeah. You see, I'm not responding to the dude. Mm-hmm. Right? Did you get it? Did you get it? Don't respond. I tell him, I got it finally, 4 days later. Mm-hmm. He says, what we looking like at the bottom? I tell him, with what? This is not an enemy talking to me, right? Yeah. He says, the record. I respectfully tell him, I can't do nothing with it. Mm-hmm. How in the fuck am I gonna do some Cash Money business with you when you and 40 Glock just faked pressing Birdman in a limo that wasn't nobody in? Mm-hmm. Now I know he do drugs, he tell me he do crystal and all kind of shit, right? But like, bro, if you go line up when Spotter started this YouTube in the month of September, I denied him saying I can't do nothing with his music. In the month of September 2018, he started the Fuck the Wack campaign. Why wasn't it Fuck the Wack campaign up here? Well, Wack, why wasn't that? You went and made up some shit. You will never find me and Spider Loc having this conversation about signing you to nothing. So, you know, at the end of the day, I just speak believers, jealousy, envy, and greed. Because I don't owe him no money. I ain't took nothing from him. I ain't disrespect. I ain't did nothing to him. So, you know, with success come enemies. It is what it is.
Okay. The last thing, we do this roll call, or, you know, we'll name people, see if you give me a short story or memory. You cool to do that?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Can we start off with Ray J?
My brother, love him to death. Brother, business partner, forever. We got 16 years in. No, longer than that. Yeah, 16. 06.
All right. What about the realist?
Realist, you know, I like the realist. I don't understand him. He's two different people. I know one of them, and the other one I don't understand. Very intelligent guy, very talented guy. A guy I think should have went into acting a decade ago. Has an amazing pen. Didn't get the credit that he deserved. Wrote a lot of shit at Death Row. I think it was bad timing for him. But, you know, I have nothing against him. You know, good dude.
Okay. Pooh Rider.
Rest in peace. Childhood friend, comrade. We go back 5 years old, 6 years old. Pooh Rider did it the way he wanted to do it. That's the one thing I can stand on. He did it and lived it the way he wanted to do it. He always leaves me because he don't listen to me, but it's usually a collect call and another $50,000 attorney bill. This time, you know, he rolled the dice and crapped out. So rest in peace, Pooh Rider.
What about Reggie Wright?
Reggie's a guy that, you know what? I really don't know. My life would probably been very different if Reggie wouldn't have allowed me to come into Death Row. Because my initiation to Death Row is Reggie. It wasn't Suge. Through Reggie, I got to know Suge. So, you know, I always got respect for Reggie. And Reggie's one of those guys that, you know, I got a few things going on. I'm not going to forget about him. I'm going to put a smile on his face one day, very soon. Good dude, though.
Okay. What about Suge?
Another guy that I learned a lot from. I learned a lot of what not to do. The misconception that Suge helped me in the music business is false. I've never done a music contract with him. I brought him business and things like that. But Suge the type of dude that if he was making $5 million on the deal you brought and he found out that other people was paying you $500,000, that had nothing to do with him, he'll walk away from the $5 million to keep you from making the $500,000. So Suge was one of those dudes to where he had position in people's lives because of his position, but you just had to like him. I think 70% of it was power rule. The other 30% of it, maybe I could have learned something from him. But, you know, every day I realized what that was. And, you know, those of us that understand Suge, we know what to expect of Suge. Not to say he doesn't mean the shit he does. He just can't help himself. So, you know. But being a pioneer to the game, changing the game with this independent situation, turning 30 cent an album sale to 30%, can't take that from him. What he did with Death Row, the doors he kicked in, the opportunities that he did give, those cats like Snoop, and not to say that Snoop's effort didn't contribute to that, even Dre, same thing, vice versa. You know, I gotta salute him. Can't take that from him. As a person, will I ever deal with him? Hell nah. You know, but other than that, I wish him the best.
What about Blueface?
Oh yeah, but Blueface like a nephew. My hard-head nephew. I just told him the other day, Blueface is the smartest dummy that I know. Very intelligent, very motivated, but he just makes dumb decisions. And not that he can't make the right decision, he just doesn't think them through. But he's young, he's like 25 now, he's coming out of it. Okay. He's molding, you know what I mean? But love him like a son, great guy. And I think he's 30% of what he's gonna be one day. Okay. Yeah.
What did you think about the incident recently with his girl's family or whatever, and they had like camera crews?
Smartest dummy I know. Blueface from these streets. He knows she's from Baltimore. Doesn't tell us. Don't take none of the squad with him. Because that would have went totally different if people would have been there. Goes into Baltimore, but he's naive to Baltimore because he doesn't know how dangerous Baltimore is. We don't know who her family tied to. But he got the heart of a giant. But even sometimes with that, you got to make the right decisions. So I think it was a bad decision. He has a knack for things turning out. It may be fucked up, but it doesn't. It turns out a little better than it would for others. But I think he learned from that. You know what I mean? So.
Okay, and last one, Mob James.
What about Mob James? Mob James not a factor in my world.
Okay.
When Mob James just go be whatever his real name is and the grandfather and stop pumping his gangster shit, you know, then I might see whatever he's doing. But other than that, you know, he violated the code, told on some homies, and you know, that's, you know, ain't nobody bigger than the program. So, you know, that got to be answered to. But those that need answers.
Can you talk about, I know there was a big situation with Jay Prince a couple months back. Is there any update with that? Were you guys able to hash anything out?
Well, I haven't talked to him. I got a call from the FBI. I did get a call from the FBI.
Okay.
Kind of alert me and warning me they've heard some things,
Okay.
which you know how that go.
Yeah.
But their mission was to get me to, they was asking if I felt threatened, if him or his people had issued any threats or something like that.
Okay.
And you know, I informed them that none of that has happened. I don't feel threatened. He hasn't issued any threats, and I know nothing about it. I recorded them and sent it to his people.
Okay.
So they can send to him. You know, I even called him on the number I had. Even though his issues going like that,
Right.
police shit like that start going around, I'm always standing on one side of it. But what I've done is I put the attorneys on the lady I was representing on my side online with the attorneys of with the Hoover family.
Okay.
Let them hash it out.
Gotcha. Okay. But as far as with the footage and stuff that
She
Casey
still has it.
Okay.
It's hers by right,
Yeah.
contractually.
Okay. All right. There was a rumor online that you had bought Orlando Anderson's life rights. Is that true or no?
I'm in conversation.
Okay. So it's a possibility.
Yeah, strong possibility. I'm in conversation. I'm talking to Andrew Ruff down at Paradigm, the chairman down there, seeing if somebody can green light it. If he can green light it, then I'll go do the business with his family. But I think that's a story that needs to be told.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about it, but nobody knows nothing about him. Yeah.
And I think Glasses Malone did a video a couple years back, Tupac Must Die, where he tried to tell it from his perspective. And
Yeah, and I got family on that side. Just do my guy Big Bruce.
Okay.
Yeah, Big Bruce from Compton Crib, so he's orchestrating all that. But it's a strong probability that that's gonna happen. Probably do a TV series or something around it.
okay. Can you talk about the situation with PNB? Roscoe's recently, came out here. And
Yeah. I was just with him in June, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Him and Blueface on the show together. And I seen him with his jury. I said, yo, we security. We didn't have it with him. He told me God had him. I said, well, God gave you a brain. You got to be smart. You know, in certain areas in Africa and certain countries, that if they drop me and you off in, and we got on a shirt and some tennis shoes, they going to take that because they don't have that. So you got to know your demographics, bro. That wasn't personal. That wasn't the East Coast thing, a Philly, Cali thing. He walked in there with a $500,000 of jury and a location that 90% of us will never walk in. We might order, the dudes in that area order and have somebody go get it. And there it went. The streets is bad, man. It's EDD money and PPP loans and all that shit had everybody geared to a certain thing. It's gone. The money that ran out. And people are pretty much, they in survival mode. I'm going to be real with you, in survival mode. So I hate to say it, my condolences to the family. That shit wasn't personal. That was business. Do I condone it? No, I don't. I hear people say people should be able to, enjoy the things they work hard for. Yeah, but you gotta also be able to be aware of what you're doing and how to do it. So, hopefully his death is not in vain. The rest of you rappers learn something from it. I'd rather see you spend $200,000 on jury and set you a yearly budget of $100,000 and know for the next 3 years you got security with you while you run around with just $200,000 of jury. $200,000 of jury on a live, able body is better than saying a person had $500,000 of jury on a deceased body where the jury's been stolen.
Okay. Can you tell us some of the stuff you're working on now? I know you got like this diaper thing going.
Yeah, Incredible Diapers launched. That first vessels, they're on the water. Incredible Diapers launched. We just got approved with AFL, American football teams coming back.
Okay.
I'm part owner of Brave Energy Drink and Brave Water. So we are the official energy drink of the American Football League. They launched 2024. We got Ferry, which may have changed to Swoop. So if you see Swoop or Ferry, which is like an Uber service, Lyft service, I got some ownership in that. That's launching in the next 90 days. We're doing it a little different. We're letting the driver keep the money, doing a subscription base. Instead of them losing 40% of the money, they're really only losing like 3% a week, if that. So that's coming. What else we got going on? Game goes on a European tour November, December. Blueface single drops. When does that single drop? Him and OG Bobby Billions, they did it again. Hot record drops October 19th. That's coming. He has an album dropping late November, and probably another album dropping top of January with him and DDG collab. Also got a little youngster out of Salos Hoover's 107 Hoover, named Young Magnificent. I got Creep the Guap Fiend coming, Coyote coming, my Hispanic group, the brothers. True Car still working. True Car just was shot in Texas. Out there filming a video, some miscellaneous shit, but he's all right. So we still working. Other than that, we still working. It's tour time. Diaper company launching, Energy Drink John, and also Indie Life. I got a mobile app I designed for independent artists. It's called Indie Life. It's gonna be great. Independent podcasters, independent artists, preachers. You know what I mean? It's gonna be great. Y'all gonna love this app. And then I got a spinoff of Clubhouse that's probably gonna be implemented in that.
You giving us this time?
I want to give one shout out to all my Clubhouse family. The 100 side, all of y'all, the Beehive, Mr. Good Burger, Pet Bull, Phoenix J, YG, all my family over there, Ebony, R&B, the queen of the 100 side, Nurse Nikki, my whole side, but Sylvester, all y'all over there. I wouldn't be shit without y'all. Lady Killer, my whole night show, all that. The trenches, I got my trenches, my comrades, you know what I mean? All of y'all over there, Wolf, Levels, Heen, Freddie, Trilly, all my people, Stevie, let's keep this thing rolling, let's keep the ball rolling, let's keep doing what we're doing, let's keep growing. Love.